Sylvanora, usually echoing with council meetings and the joyous cadence of festivals, now felt like a mausoleum. The air in Sylvanora hung heavy, thick with grief and the scent of dying sunflowers. Elder Rowan, the city's heart, its protector, its father, was gone. The forest, named after the dual infernos that once threatened to consume it, felt eerily quiet. The name Whispering Wood felt more appropriate than ever. The trees themselves seemed to be murmuring their condolences. For Shruggy, the bard, the world felt muted, the vibrant melodies that usually danced within him silenced by a profound sorrow. Rowan wasn't just the city's leader. He was Shruggy's anchor, a guiding light in the often turbulent sea of his life. They were as close as a father and son could be, bound by shared laughter, quiet contemplation, and a deep love for the whispering wood that encircled their home. Now Rowan lay still, buried near the church, a single sunflower marking his final resting place. 7 days of mourning had passed, a somber symphony of tears and whispered memories. Shruggy, adorned in Rowan's sunflower cap, addressed his council. Boris, his broad shoulders stooped with grief, shifted his weight uncomfortably. Lee, ever the gentle giant, wrung his calloused hands, his brow furrowed with worry. The other council members, a mix of seasoned elders and newly appointed representatives, sat in stunned silence, their faces pale under the weight of their shared loss. "Friends," Shruggy began, his voice surprisingly steady though his heart hammered against his ribs, "Rowan is gone. The pain of his absence is a wound we all share. But Sylvanora endures." He paused, letting his words resonate in the heavy air. "He taught me, as he taught you, the importance of community, of unity. He reminded me that we were not just individuals but a collective, bound together by our love for this land, for each other. He reminded me that the craving for power makes you blind to who you are and what may be needed by others." Shruggy stood before everyone and the empty seat Rowan would sit at, the sunflower cap, Rowan's symbol of leadership, resting heavy in his hands. He felt a pang of resistance, a primal urge to run, to lose himself in the woods and let someone, anyone else bear this burden. He was a bard, a storyteller, a weaver of melodies, not a ruler. Yet Rowan's words echoed in his mind, a final lesson etched into his heart. To lead, one must not crave power, Rowan had rasped, his voice weak but firm. Pride and ego are the serpents that corrupt. Craving power leads only to destruction and more pain. Set those demons aside, Shruggy, if you are to guide our people. He remembered the warmth of Rowan's hand in his, the weight of his expectations. Rowan knew he didn't want this, but he also knew Shruggy wouldn't shirk from it. He would step forward, not because he desired power, but because the love for his people, the love Rowan had instilled in him, demanded it. He took a deep breath, the scent of pine needles and damp earth filling his lungs. He wasn't alone. Rowan had seen to that. "You have gained friends like Lee Sukin and Boris," Rowan had reminded him. "Lean on them. Don't forget, community is what makes this place so beautiful." Boris, the pragmatic blacksmith with a heart of gold, and Lee, the gentle giant with a knack for farming, were his rock, his advisors, his family. He closed his eyes, picturing their faces, drawing strength from their loyalty and unwavering support. He would need them. He donned the sunflower cap, the soft petals brushing against his forehead. It felt strange, unnatural. He was Shruggy the bard, not a leader. But the moment the cap settled on his head, he felt a shift. He wasn't just Shruggy anymore. He was Eldar Shruggy, the bard of Sylvanora, entrusted with the care of his people, the protection of the Whispering Wood, and the legacy of Eldar Rowan. He straightened his back, a newfound resolve hardening his gaze. He would stumble, he would falter, but he wouldn't break. He would honor Rowan's memory by leading with humility, compassion, and a melody of hope in his heart. The music might be different now, a somber tune laced with responsibility, but it would still be music, a living, breathing testament to the enduring spirit of Sylvanora. He stepped forward, the sunflower cap casting a symbolic shadow over his face. The sun, now high in the sky, bathed the city in its warmth, a silent blessing from Helios, welcoming Rowan into its embrace. Eldar Shruggy had arrived, and Sylvanora, though still mourning, waited with bated breath, hoping that the bard could sing their city back to life.